wholeness and 0 point love. It's like God doesn't give notice to omni spaces. Today, I just wanted to talk about, what the Holy Spirit, what God and what Source really truly want for you to want for yourself and to learn how to do. And I'm also going to talk about how the elites, quote unquote, the 1%ers, how they lost their hearts. So let's get right into it. I want to start with what God and Sophia, the Holy Spirit, and the Source want for you to want for yourself. And that is actually, if you just look at the whole system, if you leave Earth, if you die, and you still believe that when you die you're somehow separated, when in fact you're not somehow, but you are merged with the whole at that point when you pass away. If you're in that mindset that, you're separate somehow, and that, you have regrets, then that's when the reincarnation happens. And most of us know this, but do you know the reason why it happens? The reason why that happens, or the reason why it happens to a lot of people, is straight because, like, God, Source, and Sophia, all they want for you is the ability to transcend. They want for you the ability for you to have in your heart the ability to transcend in your mind and love fully, in your heart. And pretty much, what would be the act of transcending? The act of transcending is truthfully just getting on top of your awareness and seeing everything that you can see, which is everything, all things really. Like, getting on the top of your consciousness, your top of your awareness, and seeing it all. And instead of running away from the truth, you embrace it. You embrace it and you love it. And you realize that the longer you stay away from the top of your consciousness, the top of your awareness, the more fucked your world would be. And when I say this, I don't mean figuratively, I mean literally. Like, you ever seen those statues and figurines and hieroglyphs where they have like a world, or not even a world, but like a god or whatever, or a deity with the erect phallus? That is directly symbolic of the point that that's a function dating and fertility aspect. Like, it's like, their semen creates worlds. It creates all types of stuff just from one drop. And that's basically saying, like, in your sexual regions you can create, but you also should know that females and males, females have 2 wombs and a phallus, and males have 1 womb and 2 phalluses. And I say this because the mind is actually, the Virgin Mary. It's the womb that only a select few know how to, get aroused and orgasmic in a sense. And most times when it's getting aroused, it's usually happening in a negative sense, because it's like, oh, I'm about to get a desire. I'm excited for that. I'm about to go see this girl. Let me get excited for that. So, and yeah, the phallus in the mind, in the brain, is actually the corpus callosum. It's that jet pillar in the middle of the center of your brain. And everybody has a brain, And yeah, so what was I saying that for though? But yeah, like, pretty much with that, it's like you can get both of those aroused, but only one of them will create, a world that you can actually, take care of, in a sense. Well, actually, in both senses, if you don't know what creation actually is, you don't know what's gonna happen, like, if you don't actually know the ins and outs of creation, then you probably will end up creating something that hurts you, creating something that you don't end up taking care of, you know, and something that could easily make you become fucked up, because just back what I said, like the longer you stay from the top of your awareness, the more fucked your world will be, in the sense that you'll continuously try to get the desire, and get the pleasure out of your world, instead of seeing it for what's actually going on and seeing it for the truth and seeing how expanded your awareness actually is, and that's where the Ben stone comes in. That's where the Ben pillar, the Ben tower, like at the top, they always show that pyramid, the all-seeing eye on top of that. Well, everyone can do that, Everyone in the world can do that, and they can see like that. But what happened is that instead of us resurrecting the king, or even, us as the individuals resurrecting our king, we just chose to rule the lands without having the king on top, having the queen and the king on top. And that eye is androgynous, so really it's no reason why we have to say king and queen. Like, they can be the same, But having the king and or queen on top, I don't even want to call it that, but having the all-seeing eye on top, that's better, Like, instead of doing that, people just went out in their worlds and said fuck their garden, said fuck gardening. And I'm what's the name? I'm guilty to this too, type stuff. Because, we all have pretty much the same limitless power and stuff like that. Limitless love, or eternal love. And so when we just sleep on that, and we act like that's not the case, and we act like we're not sovereign individuals out here, and that, other people truly don't always have the best for us in mind, because we're not even in their mind, Like, we're not even in their hearts either. In a sense that they can see us at the top of their awareness, but that don't mean that they gonna come out here and tell us exactly how to garden our land and keep it, flourishing fruitfully, good fruits, flourishing with great fruits and not just poisonous fruits and poison apples. But yeah, so that in itself is truly transcendence, because when you can see from the top of your awareness, you can actually, when you can see at the top of your awareness, that means you can see all the way at the bottom of your awareness as well. So you can see the highs and the lows and the lefts and the rights. And then at that point, it kind of looks like, from my perspective, that you and me were the one that actually did all of this. And that is actually true. But the thing is, you can't just be like, damn, what did I do? Why did I do all this? You gotta really look at it like, man, I was asleep for a long time. There's a lot of work to be done, I gotta get back on my garden. I gotta get back, reaping and sowing properly. I gotta get back on the harvest properly. I gotta get my cycle correct. I gotta learn when the moon cycle and the waxing and waning happens. I gotta learn, how to properly have a root chakra that doesn't, burn up everything, but it just does exactly what it's supposed to do. Keeps everything secure and rooted in. So that's the thing. That's like the work. But a lot of people I know, they're gonna see that and they're gonna go crazy. Cause it's like, what the fuck? Like, it's kind of like Bird Box in a sense. Because that's really like, Like, the bird was in a cage for a long time, or it was even sleeping. But then when you let the bird out the box, You see how beautiful it was. You see how much it could have flew, and you're like, damn, why did I keep it in a cage for so long? But you can't be hard on yourself, because that is exactly what happened to me multiple times. Like, I would see at the top of my awareness, and I would just feel like I was freaking damned. I would feel like I was damned, and that is not true. Only thing it means is that there's more work to be done. There's more tilling of the field to be done, and there's more people that's gonna awaken to this, and hopefully they can get this video, or they can get, you know what I'm saying, some connection to Source, God, and Sophia, so that they won't just go fucking bonkers, you know. But this is truly a great thing to be able to see at the top of your awareness, and that's what everyone was supposed to be able to do. Have that all-seeing eye, and then with that all-seeing eye, we could actually communicate with others. You know what I'm saying? And everyone's gonna, like, this is a wave. Like, at this point, like, this is gonna happen for everyone. But what was the second thing I wanted to talk about? Yeah, the transcendence. I talked about that. Just going beyond, above and beyond, and that's just symbolic of the all-seeing eye, because it can see, it's all the way on top, and then it can see all the way to the great beyond. As far as your light reaches, as far as your love reaches. You know what I'm saying? And then what else did what did I say? I said at the beginning. Freak. Let me see if I remember correctly. I said, what Source and God and Sophia want from us, transcendence, of course, and mind and heart, because you don't want to get to the point where you're just, oh yeah, how the freaking Illuminati 1%ers, elite, how they lost their hearts. Boom, boom. Okay. So, just like how I was saying that, we all have the ability to go above and beyond, well, there's a lot of people that have been here for a long time, and they've had that ability. But just like how, normal people, or I don't even know what a normal person is, but people that haven't been in a fucking hierarchy, in a fucking aristocratic, you know what I'm saying, like, hadn't been royalty, or remember their royalty, and hadn't been like in a freaking family that was born into wealth and, limitless amounts of money, because they have generational wealth set up from, what I'm saying, the first beings that were supposed to awaken the king, but they didn't. They just said, I'm gonna take the land for my own and fuck the king, you know what I'm saying? Fuck the queen, fuck the all-seeing eye. And that's what they did. So those beings, they truly knew how to transcend before anyone even knew of the word. And they didn't even have a word for it, probably. They just was able to do that because they had the ability, and they were born into nobility, like physically, and not just spiritually and mentally and all that stuff. But they were born into it. So that ability allowed them to pretty much, instead of, just being great on one level, they were able to make other people see their greatness and know their greatness, and then at the same time, they were able to make people believe that somehow just them being able to be in their presence was great for them. You know what I'm saying? And in fact, it was true, but you always see that the nobility, the 1%ers, the cabal, the freaking Illuminati, the Bilderberg group, they don't fuck with people that don't really know the secret. They don't fuck with people that don't see above and beyond. You know what I'm saying? Like, if anything, they treat those that don't know like trash. And so what in the people that don't know believe they are trash, you know what I'm saying? They don't believe that they can get to that point. They're like, oh, that's a beautiful dream, but that's just a pipe dream, you know what I'm saying? But ultimately, You know what I'm saying? Them niggas are fucked up. Because why? Truthfully, when you don't transcend with your heart, in the sense that when you don't transcend in your mind and then don't know that feeling of love inside your heart, you know what I'm saying? To the point where it's like love for every single body, not just love for just you and yours. You know what I'm saying? It's love for this rock right here. It's love for this wall right here. You know, it's love for all of it and not just you. You, in a sense, you lose your heart. And why is that? Because, check it out, in the Bible, there are two, I ain't even lying, I ain't even gonna get into that right now. But, you know what I'm saying? If you look at any God story, any God game, any book about God, any, symbolism about gods, they always are on some cruel shit. And mostly the ones that aren't on cruel shit, they're like the bottom of the rung. They're like the bottom of the totem pole. And so why is that? Because gods are megalomaniacs. They just are at the top going above and beyond, but they don't love the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can see all of it, but that's it. They just watching. They just looking for opportunities, looking for what they can steal, kill, and destroy. You know what I'm saying? Looking for some other one-uppings on others. You know what I'm saying? And that is definitely a slippery slope. It's the slipperiest slopes. Because your ass, my ass, we usually the one that get kicked in the ass, you feel me? Like, because we don't know. We didn't know about the above and beyond all-seeing eye. And so, those beings, they lost their heart. Truthfully. And guess what? This cannibalism, all this human trafficking shit, this has been going on for a long time. And somewhere in their minds, they got to the point where they just started, they tried to push everything off on an external deity. But truthfully, all they had created was a freaking eidolon in their mind that made it all right for them to keep continuously doing what they do. And that is the thing with this world. That is the thing with this this freaking this system. Like, every single body has that dark side and that light side, and they're always, battling out. But what is that, truthfully? It's just one side of the hemisphere and the other. It's like, on the left side of the hemisphere, you're either one for all or you're all for one. And then on the right side of your hemisphere, you know what I'm saying, you're freaking being creative or you're being debased. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where evil geniuses come from and shit like that. And, the one for all is like that dude that could take people's power, but he can also bestow powers. But mostly he just took powers, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's the thing. Like, the hemispheres are constantly battling for supremacy and constantly battling for that middle point, you know what I'm saying? The Christ point, the Christ light. They're trying to get the Christ, well, not even get, they're trying to turn the Christ into an antichristo, you know what I'm saying? And why is that? Because they're megalomaniacs and they don't have a heart to ground them in. And, you know what I'm saying, they've already grown up in a system where, you know what I'm saying, they've been abused sexually, spiritually, physically, mentally, on all levels. You know what I'm saying? It's like they are kind of like us, but they have limitless of everything, you know what I'm saying? They don't want for anything, but they still, you know what I'm saying, getting it hard, you know what I'm saying? They're still right face to face with what they believe to be as pure evil, but ultimately it's just abuse. It's just trauma and stuff like that. And so what I was saying with the creature that they created in their minds, the eidolon, is pretty much just like an idea that they're at the top right now and they've been at the top for a long time. So, you know what I'm saying, they're just like the rest of the people that have been at the top for a long time, and they realize that, you know what I'm saying, there's certain things that they can do to keep their longevity, and it's always something to do with something external going in to make the internal, you know, more healed. But as we're seeing now, it's actually the internal. You're supposed to use the internal to make the external greater and more improved. But you know what I'm saying, the eidolon that they created, the egregor that they created, it literally just fooled the fuck out of all of them. Like, since the beginning of time, as soon as I guess it was the king, you know? I guess as soon as they decided not to revive the king, it just became a god of death. And, you know, it masqueraded itself as like a person that would give him, like a being that would give them power. But truthfully, it was just a being that was using them niggas, or not even using them, but allowing them to use themselves and giving them the notion that it will give them like freaking, you know, abilities and nobilities and powers and control over everything. But it was kind of just leading them into their own demise. And, you know, that's what it did. Like, that's what we're seeing right now. And so, really, you know, it was never on anybody else. It was always on the beings that chose to do the horrible shit that they know that they wouldn't want done to them. But the thing is, they had the shit that they do to others done to them. So instead of, you know what I'm saying, transcending their abuser, they became their abuser. And that's why I started a freaking logo the other day, because I was channeling some stuff, and I was like, transcend, what did I say? Oh, be like your abuser or transcend that loser. And that's, you know what I'm saying, something I want to hashtag everywhere, you know what I'm saying. I wanted to do that challenge, the truth challenge, but it didn't really catch on like I thought. But this one, when I said it, when I typed it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's the one right there. Be like your abuser or transcend that loser. And that's all ultimately life has been trying to get us to do. Like, this shit is abuse. It is psychological suffering. It is psychological torment. But the whole thing is to get past that veil. And once you bust through that veil, shit is still not sweet, but you continuously transcend, and you won't be like that fucking loser. You won't be like your fucking abuser. You know what I'm saying? Like, I even wrote the other day that I've been, you know, violated before, and I had debased thoughts. Just like I said with the right hemisphere, I had debased thoughts and debased feelings. And so there was times where I almost gave into that darker side of myself. But I told myself, fuck no, I'm not about to do that. I'm not an animal. You know what I'm saying? I am the I am. I love Christ and Christ loves me. And I know nothing. You feel me? So I told myself a long time ago I wouldn't be like my abuser. You know what I'm saying? Even if I was young as fuck, I still knew that the stuff that I felt like and thought I should do was not what I wanted to be done to me. So, you know, I kept on peeking over the edge, you know what I'm saying, and then walking back, peeking over the edge and walking back. And then eventually, you know what I'm saying, I almost crossed that line. But then I was saved. You know, I was given a chance. I was given a second chance. And so with that second chance, I decided, fuck all that shit over there at that ledge. I'm walking this way. You know what I'm saying? I'm going on the straight and narrow, and I'm going to get myself disciplined. And it's a great thing I had went to the Navy too, because they actually had taught me that. And that's like the only thing they taught me, you know, discipline, straight ass discipline. Oh my gosh, this video is long. But yeah, guys, but it's okay. Yeah, so it doesn't, you don't have to be like your abuser. You don't have to be like the fucked up things. You don't have to do the fucked up things that were done to you. You don't have to feel the way someone made you to feel. never do. Like, that's the great thing with transcendence. Like, if you can transcend in your mind and then get the feeling in your heart, then you can create your own emotions. And they don't have to be dark and evil and disgusting, and the thoughts don't have to be debased and fucked up and genocidal or suicidal. They can be great, you know what I'm saying? They can be lucid, they can be clear, they can be freaking compassion, they can be, you know what I'm saying, universal love, you know? Like, it's a beautiful world out here. Even right now, it's beautiful. It's kind of chilly out here, but it's still beautiful. Like, what? I love that shit. I love it all. And so, man, fuck yeah. Be like your abuser or transcend that loser. Let's get it. I love y'all. I'm out of here.